In this lesson, we will examine how certain numbers behave when their exponents are increased. First, we will examine cases where the base is positive. Now, when it comes to positive bases, let's consider cases where the base is greater than 1 and cases where the base is between 0 and 1. Let's begin with bases greater than 1 by examining the following powers of 3. When we evaluate these expressions, we get the following. Notice how quickly the powers increase in value. From this, we can conclude that if x is greater than 1, the value of x to the power of n increases as the value of n increases. Now let's compare these results to what happens when the base is between 0 and 1. For example, when the base is 1/2 and we evaluate these expressions, we get the following. Notice here that as the exponents increase in value, the expressions evaluate to be smaller and smaller numbers. From this, we can conclude that if x is between 0 and 1, then the value of x to the power of n approaches 0 as the value of n increases. So, as you can see here, the exponents have a much different effect on positive numbers depending on whether the base is greater than 1 or between 0 and 1. Alright, now let's examine what happens when the base is negative. Once again, we will consider two cases. We will examine cases where the base is less than -1 and cases where the base is between -1 and 0. Let's begin with bases less than -1 by examining the following powers of -5. When we evaluate these expressions, we get the following. Here we should make two observations. First, notice how the expressions evaluate to be positive or negative depending on whether the exponent is even or odd. Also notice that the magnitude of the expressions increases as the value of n increases. So when it comes to exponential growth, when the base is negative, we can say that if x is less than -1, then the magnitude of x to the power of n increases as n increases. But the sign oscillates from positive to negative depending on whether the exponent n is even or odd. Okay, now let's see what happens when the base is between -1 and 0. For example, when we let the base equal -1/2 and then evaluate these expressions, we get the following. Once again, notice how the expressions evaluate to be positive or negative depending on whether the exponent is even or odd. Also notice that the magnitude of each expression decreases as the value of n increases. So we can say that if x is between -1 and 0, then the magnitude of x to the power of n decreases as the value of n increases. Okay, let's summarize. In this lesson, we learned that different sets of numbers behave differently when their exponents are increased.